this video, I'm going to show you how to reharmonize Silent Night so that it sounds a little bit more like jazz. So the basic version of the song, I'm going to play in the key of G. And if I'm in the key of G, my primary chords are G, and that's chord 1. C is chord 4, and then D is chord 5. So the basic version of the song uses just those 3 chords, G, C, D. So the chords are Silent Night, that's chord 1, right? Holy Night, that's still chord 1. Then we go to chord 5. All is calm, back to chord 1. All is bright. Then chord 4. Round young virgin, back to chord 1. Mother and son. Chord 4. Holy infant, so chord 1. Tender and mild. Then 5. Sleep in heavenly, chord 1. Chord 1, deep in chord 5, then 1. And the song generally has a 3/4 time signature. So we're feeling 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 counts per bar or per measure. So if you look at the beginning, we are kind of stuck on this one chord for quite a long time. So 1, 2, 3, 1. We're going silent night, holy night. You know, so while that's all right, sometimes as jazz musicians, we love to reharmonize. So we like to create a bit more movement there and just to make things a little bit more interesting. So one of the very first things we can do before we even talk about substituting is we can make each of these primary chords a 7th chord. So we just turn the triad into a 7th, and 7ths are the first thing that I deal with in my jazz piano fundamentals course. So please check that out, so because it's a nice foundation for learning jazz. So here is a 7th chord that's built from this G triad. So if I play notes 1, 3, 5, and then 7 from my G major scale. By the way, the G major scale is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I play the first note, the third note, the 5th, and the 7th, that's a G major 7 chord. So in those first 4 measures, I could simply be playing Silent Night, Holy Night. Hopefully you can already hear that. That gives it a nice jazzy sound. Silent Night, Holy Night. By the way, in the Jazz Piano Fundamentals course, I also cover inversions of this chord. In fact, inversions of all types of 7th chords, so that you're not just stuck in this one place. You know, you want to be able to move your chord around. So I could be playing something like Silent Night, Holy Night. And then after playing that G chord, we know our next chord is D, right? A 7th chord on D looks like this. So we call this chord D7. Okay. It's the D triad. Basically, when you're playing a 7th chord, you're playing every other note in the scale. So from our scale, if we play D, skip the E, that takes you to F sharp. If you skip the F sharp, if you skip the note after F sharp, which is G, that takes you to A. If you skip the note after A, B, that takes you to C. So I'm playing every other note. I'm skipping those. So the 7th chord that's found on D, which is chord 5, is this. We call this D7. So we started on a G major 7, Silent Night, Holy Night. Now we go to D7, all is calm. Okay, and again, feel free to explore these different inversions. Back to G major 7, all is bright. Now we go to a C, and if we play every other note in the scale, we end up with a 7th chord that looks like this. This is what's known as a C major 7. So round yon virgin mile. D7, right? Sleep in heavenly peace. G major 7. Sleep in heavenly peace. Okay, so just by turning your triads into 7th chords, you're on your way towards getting a jazzy kind of sound. Now, let's take this a step further. So after learning 7th chords, one of the things we want to learn is chord progressions. And one of the most common chord progressions in jazz is what's known as a 2-5 progression. So here's one of the things I'm going to try and experiment with. If I'm in the key of G, G is chord 1. So chord 2 in the key of G is A minor 7. And then chord 5, we've already played chord 5. So what if we say to ourselves, hang on, every time there's a 5 chord, what would happen if we play the 2, then the 5? So if I said silent night, holy night, and then 2, all is calm. That's quite cool there. It gives us a bit of relief from the monotony of just playing D7, 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 or chord 5, 5, 5. We're now playing 2, then 5. So all is calm, all is bright. Okay, so we can play a 2-5 progression, going from chord 2 to chord 5, just like that. There are various types of or various ways we can use 2-5 progression. So this is not the only 2-5 that we play in the key of G. Again, I go a little bit deeper into this stuff in my coaching and in my jazz piano fundamentals course, but for time's sake, I'll just say, okay, that's the 2-5, which normally takes us to chord 1, okay, in the key of G, right? So the little rule that we've made for ourselves is anytime before we play chord 5, we can always play chord 2, right? So let's see, what else can we do? The other thing we could do is to say, hang on, before we play a C, what if we temporarily tell ourselves that this is our destination, right? So what if we play a 2-5 that takes us to this chord? So the 2-5 that would take you to a C is D minor 7 to G7. That can take you to C major 7. Okay, so anytime we've got a C major 7, we could probably play D minor 7, G7, then C. So let's see, where can we do that in our song? So we could go silent night, holy night. Here's a 2-5. All is calm, all is... We're about to go to C, right? What if I go all is bright round? See, that works nicely. So that 2-5 took us to C. By the way, you might hear me talking about these numbers. These are the functions of the chord. So every chord has got a function within that key. So in the key of G, the function of C is its chord 4. So this 2-5 was taking us to chord 4. Okay. This 2-5 was taking us to chord 1. Okay. So 2-5s can take us to various places in that key. So back to the beginning. So we've said the first thing we can do is we can use some 2-5s, okay, to take us to particular chords. But also, it's quite important to note that when I play chord 1, for instance, I really want to deal with those first 4 measures because they're getting a bit boring for me. I'm playing the same chord over and over. I'm playing that for 4 measures. That's too much for me. So instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, I want to create a bit of movement. So one thing you could always do in any song is when you've got that one chord for a long time, you can play a 2-5 and then come back to 1. So I could say something like silent night, holy night. In fact, I won't do that because I want to go to chord 5. So that worked the first time, but I'm not going to do it the second time. So silent night, holy night. Now I can go to 2. All is calm, just like we did earlier. All is, here's my 2-5. All is bright. That's taking me to chord 4. Round. Okay. So, whenever you've got a chord for a long time, feel free, particularly if it's the one chord, feel free to play the 2-5, taking you back to 1. Okay, so I could play silent 2-5, holy night. That's more satisfying for me than just going silent, stay there, and stay there, and stay there some more, and get bored to death. Okay, so 2-5 really helps you to create a bit of variety in your playing. So, what's the other thing we could do? So, if we analyze this chord 1, it's got the notes G, B, and D. There are 2 chords that are interchangeable that we can use as substitutes for this chord. And why do we use them as substitutes? Because they share some notes in common. So, where do we find those? The first place is on chord 3. So chord 1 has got G, B, D. If I think of chord 3 in the key of G, right? It's got a B and a D. So those are already 2 notes in common. This is the only note that's different. But if you really think about like jazz chords and 7th chords, if I play the 1 chord, G major 7, right? If I remove the root, if I remove the first note and leave that, hopefully you can see that that's a 3 chord, right? So chord 1 and 3 are interchangeable because they share notes in common, right? So one thing I could do, because they're interchangeable, is I could go silent night, holy night, then all is calm, all is bright. You know, so 1 and 3, if I move back and forth between them, I can start creating a bit of variety. What I could do to my 3 chord is, instead of just playing it as a triad, I could also make it a 7th chord. So I could go silent night, holy night, all is calm. And again, speaking of movement and substitutions, there's a chord that I'm very tempted to play, which is in my jazz piano fundamentals, and that's a diminished chord. So silent night, holy. So I could play a diminished after this 3 chord to take me to chord 2. All is calm, and oh, here's a 2-5. That's taking me to chord 4. Okay, so already just with these 2 tools, really, a 2-5 that takes us to whatever chord, and substituting the 1 chord with the 3, that seems to work really well. Okay, there's another chord though that shares notes in common with the 1 chord and often used as a substitute, and that's chord 6. So if I play chord 6 in the key of G, that's E minor 7. In fact, if I play E minor 7 like this and remove its root, you can see the chord that I'm playing is a G. Okay, so these 2 chords have got 3 notes in common, so easy to substitute. So I could have gone silent night. I can go from chord 1 to chord 6, holy night. Okay, so I can substitute 1 for 3, but I can also substitute 1 with 6. So silent night, holy night. I could have done it the other way around. Silent night, holy night. Here's my diminished. All is calm. Oh, here's my 2-5. And that's taking me to chord 4. Okay, so I'm beginning to have fun and variety just with these Simple ideas. So these are not complex ideas at all. Okay, if you think about it, what are the ideas? It was a 2-5 progression, and then substituting certain chords. Particularly for the one chord, we said we can replace it with either chord 6 or chord 3. Just that. Okay, and then you're already getting these beautiful sounds. Okay, so let's see what else we could do. Let's go a little bit further into the song. So, by the way, I'm not going to stick to a set arrangement. I'm going to take the tools that I've acquired and that I know from practice, and then I'm going to play them however I feel. So any inversion of the chord, sometimes I'll play where there's chord 1, I might play chord 3. Sometimes I'll play chord 6. It all depends on what I want to do at the time. So I'm not really going to restrict myself. Okay, so silent. I'm just going to play a 2-5. Holy night. I'm going to play chord 3 this time. Then there's a 2-5. Then 1. And I'm going to play a 2-5 going to chord 4. Round yon. You know what's interesting about this chord 4 is it's also got a chord that shares notes in common with it. So this chord 4 and chord 2, they're related. They share notes in common. If I remove the root of chord 2, there's chord 4. Okay, so I could do round yon virgin mother, and here's chord 6, substitute, right? And then here's my chord 4 again, holy end, substituting, fend for so tender and mild, passing diminished, sleep in heavenly. Instead of going to chord 1, what if I went to chord 6? Heavenly peace. I like that. Okay. You know what I'm tempted to do here? Since this is chord 6 and chord 6 is a minor, in a 2-5, the 2 is a minor chord and it's often going to a dominant chord. So what if I go P, if I go to a dominant from here and treat this as a 2 of something, okay, the dominant would be A7. Okay, so one way to think of what I'm saying here is, imagine if I was in the key of D. E minor would be 2, and then A7 would be 5. So I'm going to play this E minor as a temporary 2-5. Let's see what I did there. So I said, sleep in heavenly peace. That's quite nice. What do I want to do from here? I'm going to play maybe another common chord progression in jazz. So we mentioned the 2-5-1. There's one known as a turnaround, and a turnaround is simply 1-6-2-5. So if I'm in the key of G, I can play 1-6-2-5. You hear this in songs like I Got Rhythm, right? 1-6-2-5. Or Blue Moon. Blue Moon, you saw me standing alone without a dream in mind. 1-6-2-5. Sometimes, well, because we know 1 and 3 are interchangeable, I might play 3-6-2-5. 3-6-2-5. You normally hear this either at the end of a song, you know, sometimes in intros as well, you know, so that's a turnaround. So I'm going to try and incorporate a turnaround to take me back home. So we've just played sleep in heavenly. We played chord 6 and then we played its dominant. Here's a turnaround. I'm going to play 3-6-2-5. Sleep in heavenly peace. So 3-6-2-5-1. I actually like this arrangement. Right. So I'm actually going to write this down. Just a few ideas. Remember, the idea behind an arrangement is not to stick religiously to it. It's just one way of playing a song. So I've just reharmonized this song. A cool thing maybe to do, or a decision that you've got to make, is, well, what style am I going to play this in? So am I going to play this as a waltz? So I'm going to do that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I was playing it more like a jazz waltz, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, instead of the traditional 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So these are decisions you can make for your arrangement. I am really feeling like playing it as a bossa nova, just like I did in the intro. So I'm going to play a track, and I'm going to play these chords here. The first thing I'll do is just a little intro for myself, where I'm just going to play G and then maybe 2, 5, 1. Then I'll get into the song. Because the bossa nova, I'm now playing it in 4/4. So again, that's the thing that you are very free to do. Okay, that's what jazz is all about. It's about freedom and expressing yourself, expressing your ideas, trying to play the song in your own way, or in your own sweet way, as Dave Brubeck said in one song. So I'm deciding to play mine in 4/4 as a bossa nova. Okay, you can swing it, you can play it in country style, you can play it reggae, whatever you want to do, Afro, it's all up to you. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, right. So here are the chords that I've written for an arrangement. And maybe let's try this together. So I'll play the intro. For now, I'll just sing the melody, okay, or hum it. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, intro. Here's a 2, 5, 1. Substituting. So you know what I've done there? This C minor 7 going to F7 is another common jazz chord progression known as a backdoor dominant. Again, I really covered this in my Jazz Piano Fundamentals course, so check that out. But this is a very common chord progression in jazz, where you play the 4 minor, kind of going to a flat 7, and then taking you to chord 1. It's another way of coming back to chord 1 and just creating some variety. Okay, so try and experiment with this and have fun with it. Maybe I'll play just the plain chords. Hopefully I can keep it nice and simple enough for you to follow, but then try and play along. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Intro, right? A 2, 5, 1. A 2, I substitute here. Silent. 2, 5. I replace chord 1 with 3. And then I play my 2, 5. Then I substitute chord 1 with 3 again. I've substituted again with chord 3. So here's a backdoor dominant. Here's a big turnaround. Sleeping heavenly. I've replaced chord 1 with 6. Then turn around. Sleeping heavenly breeze. And so forth and so forth. Right, so that's just a cool idea for you to explore in the holidays. Feel free to take the concepts behind these ideas and apply them to other songs, and just see how you can turn the plain old Christmas carols, could even be the hymns from church or whatever you want to do, pop songs. Feel free to use these ideas and make the songs your own. That's what jazz is really all about. And if you really want to get deeper and to really understand how to build on these things step by step in a very logical manner, please check out my Jazz Piano Fundamentals course, which covers the basics and really gives you a strong foundation to become a very decent jazz piano player. Please check that out. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. And if you've got any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section, or even send me an email if you wish. Hopefully you've subscribed to the channel already, but I know many people who watch this haven't subscribed yet. So if you're one of those, please support me by subscribing to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.